Hello, welcome back to Chair Yoga class number 11. We only have 2 more to go in our series. I can't believe it's gone this quickly. So thank you for coming back and joining me, and so we can practice together. And that's, I think yoga is about practicing, and it's about just having fun. And so let's just see what we can do today. And let's practice, and let's continue to improve and strengthen. And you may even have weeks that you just feel like, I'm off today. And that's okay. That's okay. Don't get down on yourself, and don't feel like, I was making so much progress and I've lost it this week. Or that's all part of the process. That's all part of the journey, right? That's how life is. Not every day can be moving in one direction, right? So just embrace that and bring that, wherever you're coming with today, just bring that to your chair. And let's just have some fun together. So sit back in your chair. Kind of think about what you are bringing today. Maybe a little sore. If you have some arthritis or you have some other health issues or challenges, you might be bringing that with you today, and that's okay. We're just going to embrace those, and we're going to practice our yoga with those as part of us, because that's who we are. We can't get rid of that, right? So shift your focus to your breath. Maybe just gently move your head around, loosen things up. Good. And go ahead and pull your belly button forward so you're sitting up nice and tall in your chair. Your sits bones are pressing into your chair. Lots of length through your spine. And I want to teach you a new breath today. You'll think I'm crazy. I'm positive of that, but that's okay. This is called alternate nostril breathing. And it's really good if you are feeling stressed or anxious or even down, even depressed. And the more you practice this, the more comfortable it feels and the more benefits you can see from it. So you're going to take one hand, and you're going to take the thumb and usually the ring finger. If you'd rather do the pinky, that's fine too, but it's usually the ring finger. Okay, and you'll press the thumb on one side, on one nostril, so you close it off, and you take an inhale. And then at the top, you'll switch and close off the other nostril with your ring finger or your pinky, and you exhale through your nose. And inhale, switch, exhale. Inhale, switch, exhale. Inhale. So you're breathing, switch, exhale. You're breathing through your nose with each inhale and exhale. Inhale, switch, exhale. Inhale, switch, exhale. Inhale, and you have one nostril closed off with each breath. Switch, exhale. One more inhale, switch, and exhale. Good. Like I said, I know that feels very strange, and you probably think I've lost my marbles, but I also think that's a good one to help kind of slow down your breath and just kind of get it under control and just kind of ease into some deep breathing. So it's one to practice, probably not in front of your friends or your family, probably, on your own, maybe in a closet somewhere, but it's a good one to practice. Let's go ahead and take our nose up to the ceiling on an inhale and exhale it down. Nose comes down toward the ground. Inhale it up. Exhale it down. up. Exhale it down. Good. Looking straight ahead. Inhale to one side. Exhale, looking straight across to the other side. Inhale, switch. Exhale, switch. Inhale, switch. And exhale, switch. Good. Taking your head straight forward, go ahead and tilt it to one side, taking the opposite hand to the side of your head and gently stretch it down. Good. And feel free to play with this a little bit. If you need to take your nose down toward the ground or down toward the ground over the opposite leg, you can. Good, and let's release it up. And let's switch to the other side. Let's take our hand to the side of our head. Good. Inhale and exhale. Good. Place both fingertips toward the back of your head, and shoulders are pulling down toward the ground, and let's inhale it in and pressing it back and release. And let's press it back and release. And back and release. And back and release. And back and release. And fingertips come to your forehead, and let's press into your fingertips and release. And into your fingertips and release. And into your fingertips. Release, and last one, into your fingertips and release. Good. Let's take our shoulders up to our ears and pull your shoulder blades together in the back and release them down. Good. And up, back, and down. And up, back, and down. And up, back, and down. And one more, up, back, and down. Let's reverse that. So we go squeeze our shoulder blades together in the back, and then up and down. Good. And back, up and down. Really squeeze them up toward your ears and down. And last one, up and down. Good. Let's take our legs wide. Let's take our big hip circles. Both of your hips, your sits bones are pressing into the chair, and let's circle big. Inhale it forward, exhale it back. Good. We might feel some creaks and pops and all sorts of stuff. Good, we're waking everything up. Good, and let's reverse it. Inhale forward, exhale back. Take a side stretch, so arm comes up over top, and stretch that side body. Oh, good. Making sure this hip is pressing into the chair. Good. And let's go to the other side. Good. Good. And let's move into our cat-cow. So our legs close in front of us a little bit here, feet about hip width apart. Hands are on our knees, and let's support ourselves as we hinge forward. Let's take our belly button forward, our chest forward, and our chin comes up. Good. Shoulders and elbows are pulling down the body. And let's reverse that. Belly button comes back, chest comes back, and chin comes down. Good. And forward. Good. And exhale it back. Good. Just like a cat, really stretching through that back. Inhale it forward. Exhale it back. And inhale it forward. And let's hold it here. Elbows and shoulders pulling down the body. Good. And exhale it back. Good. Here you can take your hands to the inside of your knees, underneath kind of the back of your knees here, pulling your elbows forward and pulling your back. You can get a nice stretch through your back here. Good. And let's release up. Good. Let's take a twist just to warm up that back a little bit more. Hand comes to the opposite side of your leg. Other hand grabs your chair, and we inhale it up. Exhale and twist. Good. And let's go to the other side. Good. Okay, let's take our arms. We're not going to do this twisty move today. Let's take our arms out to the side. We are going to do that kind of rapid breathing though with this, and it feels strange if you're not used to it. Shoulders are down, pulling up nice and tall, nice neutral spine here. We're not arching it forward, we're not curving it back. Nice neutral spine, arms are out, shoulders are pulling down the body, and we're going to press our hands down like we're pressing, like we've got a big pillow underneath our hands and we're just pressing it, okay? And we're going to breathe more rapidly as we do so. So we'll breathe in for 4, out. One more. Good. Bring your arms to the front. Turn one hand up toward the ceiling, pulling those fingers back with your opposite hand, and let's stretch through that arm. Good, and through the wrist. That feels good. And maybe your hand doesn't do that. If that does not feel good, do not join us in this stretch. Okay. Good, and let's switch. So the other hand comes up toward the ceiling, bend it down, bend the fingers down toward the ground, and then gently stretch those fingers back. Good. Good. Let's all stay seated just for a minute here. And let's do the variation of our mountain pose in a seated position today. So I want us all to think about, and you can even take your legs together if you'd like to. We're thinking about our feet are pressing into the ground, okay? And our inner thighs are squeezing together. Our hips are squeezing toward the midline. We've got lots of energy going through our legs right now, okay? Let's take a little curve on our back, and then we'll roll our shoulders up and release them down. Good. Feet are still pushing into the ground. Legs are squeezed together, and we breathe deeply here. Good. Squeezing those hips toward the midline. Good. Let's take our arms up with this breath. Inhale and exhale. Just like we talked about in our last class, the breath starts the movement. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Good. It's like we're riding a wave here. Inhale and exhale. And inhale it up. Good. Hips are squeezing toward the midline. Inner thighs squeezing together. You may feel your legs trembling at this point, and that's okay. Good. And let's release everything. Good. And if you choose to stand, go ahead and stand with me right now. Okay, we're going to change the class up a little bit. Now that we've done the flow for several weeks, we'll go through a salutation at the beginning, and that will serve as a reminder. I'm personally not going to add the flow in between each transition this time, but you know what the flow is now. And if you like to do that, if you choose to do that, then please feel free. you would have enough time as we kind of adjust into each new pose to go through that transition for yourself. That is completely up to you, okay? So that ball is in your court, but just because you don't see me doing it, don't feel like you can't do it either, okay? It's completely up to you. But to begin with, let's go ahead and do a few of these salutations. Let's kind of wake up our body, remind ourselves what we're doing, and then we'll go from there. So feet are about hip width apart. Let's inhale it up. Good, lots of energy. Shoulders are down. Exhale it down. Stepping back to your down dog. Okay, wherever you are, whether you're seated or you're standing, you're on the seat of your chair or the back of your chair. Okay, you've got energy pushing out through your arms, out through your fingertips. Okay, if your fingertips can be flat. If they can't, then think about pressing through your palms. Your shoulders are still pulling down your body. And the opposite, it doesn't feel like they're pulling down, but they're pulling down toward your hips, let me say, okay? From here, you can find some movement. You can walk the dog, as they say, okay? Bending one knee, lifting that heel. Good. You may want to lift both heels and down. And we're taking deep breaths here. Good. Lifting those hips up toward the ceiling, little bend in your knees. Or you could even have a bigger bend in your knees if that's more comfortable. Good. And let's go ahead and move to a plank. Okay, so wherever you are in this position, excuse me, we've got energy pushing down through our hands. If you are standing, you've got energy also pushing out through your heels. Inner thighs are still squeezing together. A little bend in your knees. Let's take a few deep breaths here. Loose jaw. Good. Now let's move down through our push-up, okay? So our elbows squeezing toward our ribs. Down, 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 down. And then we press up into an up dog. Good. Don't let your body collapse here. We want to keep energy pulling up through those legs. And then we pull our hips up and back. Good. Take a few deep breaths here. And step it up. And inhale it up. And exhale, hands to heart. Good. Let's do that 2 times, a little more quickly this time. Inhale it up. Exhale it down. Inhale, step it back to a down dog. Exhale it forward to a plank and down through a push-up, even if it's just a little bend here. And then up to an up dog. And even if you can't get your chest out and open, that's okay. And pull your hips back. Good. And inhale it up. And exhale. Good. Again, inhale. Let your breath move you. Exhale it down. Inhale, step back. Exhale, out through a plank, down through a push-up. Chest comes forward to an up dog. And we pull our hips back. And we inhale it forward. And up. And hands to heart. Good. So when we're here, when we're moving from an up dog back to a down dog, you want to think about someone is behind you and they're pulling your hips up and back for you, okay? It's really taking some kind of lower abdominal core strength to do that, but that's kind of the motion we want to think about. Let's get started. We're going to go back to, we haven't done this in a few weeks, where we add the twist with our movements, with our poses, but I would like to do that this week. So you have your chair in front of you here. I am, actually I am going to have my chair in front of you because we're also adding a new pose this week. Let me move that. Okay. And you'll want to have your chair in front of you for that. So, and I will cue you when we move between poses if you want to try the flow on your own. All right, so here we go. Let's move into our warrior one. Excuse me. Got a nice bend in that front knee. Just ease into it. Okay, there's no sense torquing and killing ourselves to try to get into a pose here. Hips are square. Lots of energy pushing through that back leg. Okay, pulling up through that back kneecap. And then let's take our arms up. Good, pulling that belly button in to support that lower back. And let's take some inhale and exhale. And inhale. Exhale. Good. Can you go any deeper? Inhale. Exhale. Good. I'm going to shift around here. You don't move. I'm just shifting so you can see me. Inhale and exhale. Hands to heart. And let's hinge our upper body forward. And we're going to twist through our upper body so that your opposite elbow and knee are coming together. Or maybe it's just here, okay? It doesn't have to be totally hinged forward. Okay, and twisting that upper body. Good, inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale and untwist. Excellent. Now push yourself up out of your warrior one. You might want to scoot your front leg back a little bit. And let's go ahead and straighten that front knee. And let's hinge forward just for a nice little stretch here. Good. So your hips are still square. Deep breath. Good. And now what I want you to do, and feel free to shift your feet around a little bit if you need to. We're going to shift our weight forward onto that front foot. Okay. And our back leg is going to come up. Okay, we've got our hips are still square. We've got lots of energy pushing out through that back heel. Like I said, you might want to at least start by grabbing your chair. If you want to take one hand off, or if you want to take two hands off, you can try your hands out to the side. You can try your hands at your heart. You can take your hands up. Okay, we'll hold it here for a couple deep breaths. Good, and then come back down. And if you would like to add your transitional flow right here, you can. Okay, while the rest of us are just going to bring that back leg up and the front leg comes back. Good. Okay, so we just added a warrior three when we shift up onto one leg. All right, so let's pull that hip around so it's square. Now I have a tendency to cross my legs too much. Make sure yours aren't crossed too much here. Okay. Good. We're not sending the knee over the ankle. Okay, so get yourself square. Good. And if you did the flow, you're probably about here with us now. So let's go ahead, pushing through the outer edge of that back foot. Arms come up. Good. Lots of energy through every limb here. Let's take about 4 deep breaths here. Good, and on this last one, go ahead and straighten that front knee. Maybe bring your back foot in a little bit and then hinge forward for a little stretch here. Good. You might want to adjust yourself. I'm going to scoot my feet back a little bit. Okay, we're going to shift our weight, our hips forward onto this front foot. Trying to keep your hips square. We don't want them open here. Trying to keep them square. Pressing through that back heel. Okay, so our foot is up off the ground. Now here, play around a little bit. Maybe take one hand off. Maybe try 2 hands. Okay, maybe play with your arms where you want them. Okay, deep breaths. Maybe one arm out, one arm on the chair. Hips are square, pushing through that back heel. Good. And bring that leg back in. Good. Again, here, if you want to do your flow, you can do your flow here. Okay. The rest of us will meet you in Warrior Two. Okay. Now your chair's in front of you. Okay. I'm going to move mine to the side. Okay. Put our chairs in front of us. Now here we go. Let's go ahead and ease into our Warrior Two. Not shooting our knee over the heel, over the ankle, okay. Good, pressing through the outer edge of that back leg, pulling up through the arch, and then let's send our arms out wide. Good, and if you're finishing up a flow, just go ahead and join us when you get here. Good, now your chest is open so that your shoulders would be like they're against a wall behind you, okay? Good. You may want to move your feet in just a little bit. We're going to take that front arm out, up and back for a reverse warrior. Good. Keeping that arm, that shoulder, that chest open. Good. Deep breath here. And let's open it back to the side. Let's move right into a side angle. Okay, so this elbow can be resting on your knee. Okay, it can also be lifted up off your knee just a little bit. Let's open this upper body up. Good. Are you feeling it? I'm feeling the heat. Ooh. Good, let's open it back up. You have your chair here, go ahead and press up through that front knee. Bring your feet in a little bit. Okay, we still have the one foot pointing to the front. The back foot is open. Arms are out to the side here. Go ahead and reach that front arm out as far as you can. Your back hip shifts back, and then we reach down toward our leg. This arm, you could have your hand on your chair as well, okay? This arm can come up. Good, pressing both feet into the ground. We haven't let up on that energy that's going into the ground here. Good, and if you're here, that's perfect. Wherever your body is, trying to keep that upper body open so we're not collapsing down here. Good, pressing into the ground. And let's come up out of it. Good. Other side. If you want to add a flow, a transition here, you're welcome to do that. Okay. The rest of us will take a little breath here and switch to the other side. Good. Good work, everyone. Okay. I'm going to ease down into it, pressing through the outer edge of that back foot, a little bend in that knee, and then once we get there, our arms shoot out to the side here. Good. We've got energy pushing through this front foot, energy pushing through the back foot, energy pushing through both arms. Deep breath. Good. And on this inhale, we bring our front arm out, up, and back into a reverse warrior. Good. Shoulders down. Good. Deep breath. It's okay to be a loud breather in yoga. Let's take that top arm up and over to a side angle. Good. Lots of energy through your foot, lots of energy through your hand. And play around here. Just see, what can you do? Can you lift your elbow up? You might even want to take it down. I want to take your arm up. straighten through that front leg. Bring your feet in a little bit. Okay, and reach your front arm out as far as it will go. Shift that back, hip back, and open to the side. Good. Hand can be on your leg, it can be on your shin, it can be on your chair. Good, pressing both feet into the ground. We've not let up on that energy. And slowly come up. Good. And breathe. Good, excellent. Let's heel toe our feet in. Let's do eagle today. And we're going to add an arm to it, okay? So this may feel very awkward. Let's go over the arm first, and then we will put it all together. All right, so your arms come out to the side. One arm crosses over the other arm at the elbows, and then you bend both elbows. And the backs of your hands can either touch, or they can cross back over so that your palms touch. Okay, like so. It feels very, if you've not done this before, it feels very strange. And your shoulders may not allow for this, and that's okay too, okay? If that's the case, just keep your hands maybe here or here, whatever you've done in the past. Okay, so if our right leg crosses over, and again, it can be at the ankle or at the knee. If our right leg crosses over, then our left arm comes underneath, right arm comes on top. And again, we cross at the elbows. At least put the backs of your hands together if you can, or continue to cross them over till you're here. And then the fingertips reach toward the ceiling and we sink down. Good, and we hold it here. Find a spot to stare at, to gaze at. Good, squeezing those inner thighs together. Whoop. And slowly come up out of that. Good. And obviously you can do, if you're doing this seated, you can do the arms seated as well. All right, other side here, crossing over, either at your ankles or at your knees or your inner thighs. Okay, so if your left leg is crossed over, then your left arm is on top, right arm is underneath. Bend at your elbows. Either backs of your hands come together or continue to cross them. I know that's awkward. And then lift your fingertips toward the ceiling and sink down and breathe. Good, shoulders are pulling down so they're not hunched up toward your ears. Good. How about here? Can you squeeze a little bit more? Can you go a little bit deeper? Let's come up out of it. Untwist everything. Untangle. Good. I feel like that one is a bunch of, like you have a bunch of ropes that are all tangled together. So, all right, good. Let's go ahead and stretch. I'd say we've earned it today. We worked hard. Again, I'm using my stool. I found that it's just easier to maneuver back and forth and to get a good stretch. But you feel free, you can stretch standing up, you can stretch with your towel, you can stretch with another chair, whatever's comfortable for you. Let's do one that's a little bit different today, okay? We're going to take our foot up. If it's on the chair, it can be on the chair. If it's if you're standing, you may want to elevate your foot a little bit, and then we're going to put the side of our foot on the stool or on the chair, and our knee drops open to the side, and then we stretch forward. Similar to the hip stretch we normally do, it's just a little bit different. Good. Press up. Okay, and then take your hand to the opposite side of your leg. Inhale it up and twist. So this is the time in class when our heart rate is getting back to normal, it's slowing down, our bodies will start to cool down. Good. And let's come to the other side. Let's put our other foot either up on the chair or up on the stool. I'm resting the side of my foot on the stool, my knees open to the side, and then I hinge forward. Good. Good, we've almost made it through class today. And we tried some new things. We tried eagle arms. We tried a warrior 3. So you feel very proud. Good, and then come up. Opposite hand, so you straighten your knee back up, opposite hand comes to the opposite side of the leg, and we twist. Good. Now let's take one leg out in front of us. Pushing through that heel, a little bend in this knee. And let's take the same arm out, up, out, and over. Good. The nice thing about yoga is that it's okay to wobble around a little bit. It's okay to, I'm going to say this carefully, it's okay to fall, but not to hurt yourself. We don't want falls that lead to you hurting yourself. But it's okay if you're in a pose and you kind of wobble a little bit and have to step out of it. That's perfectly fine. It's okay if you try something new and you kind of stumble around a little bit. That's perfectly fine. That's part of the playing process. Good. When you see a child who's playing, they stumble around and fall all the time, don't they? And they get right back up and they do it again. Well, most of the time, if it's something they really want to do. All right, let's take our leg to the side. And that's what we can do too. We've still got that inner child, right? We can take your arm up, opposite arm up, and out and over. We can still play and we can stumble and we can get back up and try it again. And that's okay. And every time we stumble, we maybe learn something that we can try differently. You could even just take your arm down and just relax down into this. Good, and then come up out of it. And go ahead and take your hands around your shin. Okay, stretch it up, stretch that knee up. Maybe rotate your foot around a little bit, one way and then the other. Taking that knee out toward your shoulder. Good. And from here, if you want to play, again, you could take part of your foot in your hand, either the outside of your foot or maybe your toe if you're barefoot, maybe underneath the ball of your foot, and stretch that a little bit. See if that'll go. May or may not. Good. And bring your foot back in. Taking your shin in your hands again, and stretching it across your body the other way a little bit. Good, just a movement in that hip. Good, let's go to the other side. Okay, so let's do same arm as leg, up, out, and over. Good. Few deep breaths here. And roll up. And let's take our foot to the side, our leg to the side, so opening your hips up a little bit. And opposite arm comes up and over. Good. Again, you can take your arm down. It doesn't always have to be over top of your head. Think about this when you're stretching here though. Think about taking those ribs that are closest to your leg down here and think about lifting them out and up a little bit so we don't collapse here, right? So we reach them out and up and your upper body opens up. Good. And come back up. Let's take your hands around your shin. Good. Taking your knee out toward your shoulder. And from here, if you want to grab your foot and try to extend it a little bit, you can. If you'd like to just keep it in, it's completely up to you. Good. And bring it in and cross it back over to the other side of your body. Do a little twist here. Good. Okay, let's do a little back bend. And then we'll call it a day. Let's scoot forward in your chair, having your hands behind you, pressing into your chair. And from here, we take our belly button and it comes out and up, and our chest comes up toward the ceiling. And if you want to take your head back, you can. If that's just too much, just keep your face forward. And again, like I said, you don't even have to be back here. You can be here and still have that energy pressing through your hands and still pulling your shoulders back and getting a little back bend there. Okay. Bring it back to neutral. Take your arms around. Maybe take the opposite arm over top this time. Usually our dominant arm comes over. Maybe cross the other way this time. Chin comes down. You're going to clench your face. You're going to clench your arms. You're going to clench your abs. You're going to curl up as tight as you can. Squeeze it all together. It's okay to make noises here. And release it. Good. Sit back in your chair. Feel your chair supporting you. And breathe. Good. You did good work today. Maybe you tried something new. Maybe you tried a Warrior 3 for the first time, or you tried the eagle arms. Maybe it worked, maybe it didn't, but you tried it. Maybe you fell all over the place today. Some days I'm like that. But you're here. You did it. You got through the class. As we finish with some deep breathing, let's visit that alternate nostril breathing again. So you place your thumb on to close off one nostril, and you inhale through your nose, switch and close off the other side, and exhale through your nose. Leaving your hand there, inhale, and switch, and exhale. Inhale, switch, and exhale. So I'll leave you to practice that for a few breaths on your own. You switch after each inhale. Just remember that. Here we go. Last one. Good. All right. Go ahead and open your eyes if they're closed. And that brings us to the end of our class together. Thank you again for joining me. I'm truly grateful you took the time. And we have one more class together, and I look forward to seeing you next time. And I hope you have a wonderful day and a wonderful week, and I will see you later. Bye-bye.